Here's the latest buzz from the Crypto Basic. A $100 billion asset manager has just named XRP as the only altcoin worthy of complementing a Bitcoin strategy. Let that sink in. This isn't some small-time player. It's incredible to see what happens when you cut through the noise and tribalism in the crypto space. Once you strip away the irrational hate and bias against XRP, because let's face it, some people just think it's uncool to say anything positive about it, you're left with clear-eyed analysis. And guess what? Unbiased, informed research is revealing what many in the XRP community already knew. XRP is a seriously solid investment opportunity. That's exactly what this firm is pointing out with their latest report, which has been making waves across the XRP community over the past few days. The report, interestingly enough, was actually published back in November. Somehow I'd never seen it before. I mean, it's not like I have eyes on absolutely everything. That'd be impossible. But what surprises me is that I don't remember this making the rounds in any significant way. Maybe it wasn't widely shared at the time. These things happen occasionally. A report quietly drops, and months later, someone in the community stumbles upon it, shares it on social media, and suddenly it spreads like wildfire. This feels like one of those moments. And let me tell you, diving into this report is completely fascinating. This firm gets it. They're not dabbling. They're all in. A $100 billion asset manager fully on board with XRP, presenting their case crystal clear. It's not an exhaustive list of reasons, but it's more than enough to grab the attention of anyone curious about XRP. What's truly refreshing, though, is how factual and accurate their approach is. It's such a welcome shift from the noise and misinformation that often dominates social media. Before diving in, let me be upfront. I don't have a financial background. I'm not here to give financial advice, and nothing I say or write should influence your decision to buy or sell anything. I'm just a crypto enthusiast who loves making YouTube videos as a hobby. Now let's get to the exciting stuff. The firm I want to talk about today, none other than Wisdom Tree. You've probably heard of them before. Here's a headline from November 21st, 2024. Wisdom Tree launches physical XRP ETP. Yep, you read that right. This is an investment product actually backed by XRP, but here's the catch. It's not available in the US. Instead, it's listed on Switzerland's 6th stock exchange and on Euronext exchanges in Paris and Amsterdam, among others. I won't bore you with every detail, but what matters is this: Wisdom Tree is serious about XRP. When professionals step in, all the tribalism and petty arguments disappear. And launching that ETP, that's just the beginning of what they're doing. Wisdom Tree is aiming to launch an XRP ETF, and they've officially filed with the SEC. On December 2, 2024, Crypto Briefing ran the headline, Wisdom Tree files for SRP ETF with SEC. It's refreshing to see such level-headed, unbiased, fact-driven reporting about XRP. What's especially interesting here is how they're simply laying out the facts, clear and straightforward. It's the kind of information we wish more people would focus on, especially when countering the toxic noise from Bitcoin maximalists who constantly spread misinformation about XRP. Wisdom Tree's approach is a breath of fresh air. They're presenting the signs, the data, and the reality. And it's the same information we've been repeating for ages. It's satisfying to see a firm like this put factual clarity out there, ready to silence the nonsense when FUD resurfaces. This is the report we've been waiting for. This piece comes from November 2024, straight off the Wisdom Tree website, titled Why XRP May Complement Bitcoin in Achieving Portfolio Diversification. There are some key parts I want to dive into and share my thoughts, because let's be real, you're probably like me. If you're here, odds are you've already made up your mind about XRP, or you're deep in research mode, piecing it all together. Most of you, though, have likely reached a conclusion. XRP just makes sense. You're no fool. You've got a good head on your shoulders, and yes, a brain inside that head. When I first got into crypto, I came in with a blank slate, no biases, no Kool-Aid drinking, no cult-like loyalty. I just wanted to find the truth. So I dug in, did my research. And when I started learning about XRP, my reaction was, wow, this is actually insanely useful. Real tangible utility is what sets XRP apart. And you probably realized that pretty quickly too. You probably also figured out that cryptocurrencies with real world use cases aren't going anywhere. We're not fading into oblivion like the dodo bird, which by the way is hands down my favorite extinct bird. XRP isn't disappearing, it's here to stay. People don't just toss aside technology that brings value to society. It's not how we operate, right? So we've figured this out, and it's refreshing to see a firm out there aligning with what we in the XRP community already know to be true. They're amplifying the message, and the more credible voices join the conversation, the clearer the narrative becomes. And guess what? That ultimately drives more money into XRP. This is the kind of thing I've been talking about for over 6 years on this channel. After being in crypto for 7.5 years, it's fascinating to watch this space evolve. Now, check this out. It's worth your time. The article states, as investors realize the potential of adding crypto to their multi-asset portfolios, they're also looking for ways to diversify their crypto holdings. Many no longer want to be heavily reliant on a single mega cap asset and are actively exploring block coins to complement it. Well, hallelujah. It's about time. I've been saying this forever. There will never be just one coin to rule them all. Sure, Bitcoin has the brand power, the name recognition, all of that. I get it. But here's the thing. It doesn't matter. New investors coming into the space are going to want broad exposure to the entire asset class. Think about it. When you step into the stock market, you don't just buy the biggest company out there and call it a day. No, you diversify, spread the risk. It's common sense. That's exactly why as more people dive into crypto, they'll be looking for options like XRP ETFs when they hit the market. They'll want multi-asset ETFs too. And let's be real, especially at the start, those multi-asset ETFs are going to focus almost entirely, if not exclusively, on the big players, the large caps. And guess what? That means XRP is going to be in the mix, and it's inevitable. Not everyone wants to spend hours diving into research. They just want exposure. Think of it like buying an ETF that tracks the S&P 500. You're not sitting there analyzing all 500 companies, right? You're simply getting broad exposure. The same logic applies to cryptocurrencies. The market itself ranks which coins make the most sense as they battle for position based on market cap. The heavy lifting is done for you. You get exposure to the big players, and that's what matters. Just like mentioned the other day, the Coinbase 50. By the way, how cool is it that Coinbase became the first ever crypto company to join the S&P 500? That's huge. They even knocked out a traditional finance company, Discover. It wasn't their whole operation, just a segment, but still a crypto firm took their spot. I love it. Now Coinbase has their Coin 50. And let's be real, ETFs tracking that are inevitable, right? And guess what? XRP's in there because it's one of the large caps. So this whole idea that people would only want Bitcoin, that was never going to be the case. Get it. Now, saying this might be heresy to the Bitcoin maximalists out there, at this point, it's practically a full-blown religion, complete with blind faith and zero wiggle room. But let's be real, that's not exactly a sensible approach to investing in crypto. Far from it. Now, take a look at this. It's fascinating. XRP pretty much hits the mark in so many ways. Wisdom Tree, in their digital asset taxonomy, breaks cryptocurrencies into 8 categories. Let me walk you through them. Layer 1 payments, centralized finance, Layer 1 smart contract networks, stable coins, Layer 2 scaling, decentralized finance, non-fungible tokens, NFTs, and for good measure, miscellaneous. Here's the kicker. While Wisdom Tree slots XRP neatly into just one category, Layer 1 payments, the truth is XRP actually touches almost all of them. Let me break it down for you because this is seriously mind-blowing. XRP, it's already nailed Layer 1 payments. That's what it was built for, a better, smarter version of Bitcoin. Why? Because Bitcoin, let's be honest, just doesn't cut it at scale. It's too slow, too expensive, and not practical for everyday transactions. The whole peer-to-peer cash system Satoshi Nakamoto dreamed up in the Bitcoin white paper, yeah, Bitcoin can't deliver on that. But XRP? Oh, it absolutely can. It was designed to work seamlessly from day one, and that's why it gained traction so quickly. It's reliable, efficient, and scalable. Quality so many other coins struggle to achieve. Take Ethereum, for example. It's had to reinvent itself, shifting from proof of work to proof of stake, constantly evolving just to keep up. Meanwhile, XRP, it just works right out of the gate. No drama, no massive overhauls. Sure, they've added some cool features over the years, but at its core, it's always been about flawless payments. And honestly, that's a huge deal in the crypto world. So yeah, it dominates in that space. And when you start exploring its role in centralized finance, well, that's where things get really interesting. The XRP Ledger is without a doubt decentralized, but here's the twist. You can issue centralized tokens on it. That's right. Using a decentralized system like the XRP Ledger, you can dive into aspects of centralized finance. So in that sense, it checks the box. Now let's talk Layer 1 smart contracts. This is where things get interesting. Currently, the XRP Ledger doesn't support smart contracts, Simple as that. But here's the kicker. It might in the future. You've probably heard of the Hooks Amendment, right? It's been in the works for over half a decade now. And while it's still hypothetical, the idea of having some level of layer one smart contract functionality on the XRP Ledger isn't as far-fetched as it once seemed. And even David Schwartz, one of the creators of XRP, has changed his tune. For years, he doubted it was feasible, but now he's on board saying it could actually work. So who knows? Down the line, we may see it happen. Of course, introducing something like that requires a cautious, calculated approach. If it goes wrong, the consequences could be significant. Still, the potential is there, and it's exciting to think about what could be next for the XRP Ledger. Number 4 is stablecoins. Ever heard of RLUSD? It's an interesting one because it requires XRP for every single transaction. That's just how the code operates. Every RLUSD transaction runs on XRP. You can double check it for yourself. Now, while XRP itself isn't a stablecoin, let's be clear on that, the XRP Ledger can support stablecoin functionality seamlessly. Pretty cool, right? Then there's a topic of layer 2 scaling, an intriguing area. The XRP Ledger is actually layer 1 technology, but here's the fascinating part. It can function like layer 2. A great example, Spend the Bits. It's a platform built on the XRP Ledger that lets you spend Bitcoin as quickly and cheaply as XRP. And no, this isn't some futuristic concept. It's a working product. Unlike Bitcoin's layer 1 limitations, Spend the Bits delivers speed and usability today. You can use the layer 1 XRP Ledger like it's a layer 2 solution, seamlessly integrating it with Bitcoin, tokenize Bitcoin, slap it on the XRP Ledger, and suddenly it moves as fast as XRP itself, all while being backed by actual Bitcoin. It's like giving Bitcoin a turbo boost, making it a practical scaling solution. And that's just one example. Check that box. And then there's decentralized finance, non-fungible tokens, and other cutting-edge functionalities. I won't bore you with the nitty-gritty, but let's just say XRP isn't just sitting in the corner, it's out there doing things. At its core, XRP's payment capabilities are what have kept it relevant for years, but its versatility and expanding range of use cases have solidified its staying power. Wisdom Tree might not explain it the way I just did, but hey, that's why I love having this platform to break it down for you in my own way. I've got to say, I respect how Wisdom Tree is handling this topic like actual grown-ups. Now, here's the interesting part. They've developed a taxonomy that identifies XRP as an altcoin sitting alongside Bitcoin. Let me repeat that because it's important. XRP is categorized as an altcoin next to Bitcoin, as both are layer 1 payment networks. This distinction matters. Similarly, they compare Ethereum and Solana, both layer 1 contract networks, with Solana positioned as an altcoin to Ethereum. XRP, on the other hand, is native to the XRP Ledger, a permissionless, decentralized blockchain. But don't let the Bitcoin maxis hear that. They'll insist it's centralized, even if that claim is pure fiction. We've always thought the hostility from Bitcoin maximalists toward XRP comes from a place of insecurity. It's not like XRP holders are constantly poking the bear, yet the Bitcoin crowd keeps spreading misinformation, easily debunked nonsense. Why? Probably because they see XRP as a threat. If Bitcoin maxis didn't feel threatened, they would be out here yelling into the void. But with their heavy Bitcoin bags, the idea of XRP gaining ground must feel like watching someone swipe their lunch. And honestly, that explains a lot. Built in 2012 with payments in mind, XRP is all about speed and efficiency. It can settle transactions on the ledger in just 3 to 5 seconds, designed to be a faster, greener alternative to Bitcoin. Pretty impressive, right? And here's the kicker. David Schwartz himself has often said they were simply trying to create a better version of Bitcoin. They had a rough vision of using it for payments, but didn't know exactly how it would play out at first. Talk about ambition. Schwartz has made this clear on numerous occasions, and it's fascinating to see how that initial idea evolved. Now, the XRP Ledger, that's where things get even cooler. It doesn't rely on proof of work like Bitcoin, but instead uses a more efficient system, proof of association, POA. Plus, XRP can move directly between parties without any central intermediary, making it a smart tool for quickly and efficiently bridging different currencies. If you're someone diving into the world of crypto, ready to get your feet wet and gain some exposure, ask yourself this. Does this excite you? Then consider XRP, a crypto that's been battle tested for over a decade and just Works. No complications, no legal roadblocks anymore. It's streamlined and ready for action. Now think about this. There's a tidal wave of money poised to flood into XRP, and just wait until ETFs get the green light. It's going to be huge. Still wondering why XRP? Let's break it down, and trust me, this part is exciting. Here's why you're still early to the game. Cryptocurrencies have been around for 15 plus years now, but they're only just scratching the surface. Check this out. As shown in figure 2, that chart on the screen, crypto currently represents about 1% of the total investable market portfolio. That's a $2 trillion slice of a $200 trillion pie. Oh, and by the way, as of now, the crypto market cap is actually over $3 trillion, but the $2 trillion figure is from November. A 50% increase in just a few months. Not bad, huh? And think about this. As of November, cryptocurrencies account for just 1% of a $200 trillion market portfolio. That's right. Out of $200 trillion in investable assets, crypto barely scratches the surface. And XRP, just a tiny sliver of that 1%. Now pause for a moment. Do you realize how early you are to the game? Does that not get you excited? Imagine standing at the edge of a $200 trillion ocean, and crypto is just a drop in it. It's so small you could almost round it down to zero. But here's the thing, it's growing fast. That 1% is going to become a much bigger slice. And by 2025, whether you're a crypto veteran or just getting started, the opportunity to achieve life-changing wealth is still absolutely within reach. It's not just possible, it's obvious. Sure, there are risks. There always are when it comes to investing, but it's all about playing it smart. Don't let emotions drive your decisions, avoid panic selling, and stick to a solid plan. There's plenty to consider, but here's the big question. Is there still an opportunity for everyday people like us? Absolutely. I'm just an ordinary guy, nothing special about having a YouTube channel, but the answer is a resounding yes. When it comes to XRP, it's clearly carving out its place as an early frontrunner in the crypto world. With legal clarity finally here and wider crypto adoption across the US, we're seeing massive cash inflows into XRP and huge backing from some of the biggest players in the game. If you're looking for an altcoin to invest in for the long haul, this one just makes sense. It really does. Cryptocurrencies, with their low correlation to traditional assets, can boost diversification in multi-asset portfolios and even improve risk-return profiles. That's straight from the experts, and it's hard to argue with. As an alternative to Bitcoin, XRP could complement it in a portfolio, reducing overexposure to a single cryptocurrency. It's a smart play for those who want balance and resilience in their investments. And let's be real, they're actively challenging toxic Bitcoin maximalism, and we're right there with them. It's about broadening horizons, not closing doors. And I've been championing that mindset for a while now. For over 7 years, I've been pushing back against the nonsense every single day. Sure, mocking their ridiculous arguments can be entertaining. It's hard not to laugh at the absurdity sometimes. But honestly, it's refreshing to see things shift. The adults are stepping in now, and most newcomers to crypto couldn't care less about the Bitcoin cult. They're here to carve out their own path. And let's face it, XRP is standing tall as a clear leader in the space. It's fast, low cost, and built for purpose. Case closed. Here's the takeaway. XRP complements Bitcoin beautifully in any portfolio. With its focus on speedy, affordable transactions, it balances Bitcoin's role as a digital asset powerhouse. Holding both lets investors spread their risk while reaping the unique benefits of each. Smart, isn't it? Bitcoin is often celebrated as a store of value, while XRP is praised for its payment efficiency. Together, they make a powerful duo in today's dynamic market landscape. But let's be real for a moment. Sure, Bitcoin is a store of value. No argument there. But guess what? So is XRP. It's fascinating how Bitcoin maximalists refuse to acknowledge this simple fact. Seriously, they act like no other crypto could possibly hold value, but the reality is far different. I've run polls in the community, and guess what? A clear majority of XRP holders say they hold it, at least in part, as a store of value. And yes, I'm one of them. Of course it's a store of value. Why is this even up for debate? Now, maybe WisdomTree is playing it safe, not wanting to ruffle feathers in the Bitcoin camp. After all, if you admit XRP checks all the same boxes as Bitcoin, then what's left that makes Bitcoin truly unique? That's a problem for Bitcoin's appeal, right? And let's face it, WisdomTree wants to sell their products, so they're not looking to alienate anyone. But the truth is the truth. Whether it's spelled out or subtly implied, XRP is a store of value too. Simple as that. Bitcoin brings nothing to the table that XRP can't match. Zero, nada. Meanwhile, XRP delivers utility that Bitcoin simply can't. Fascinating, right? Absolutely. That's why XRP isn't just surviving, it's thriving. It's a standout in the crypto arena, carving its place as an early champion. And honestly, who doesn't love to see it? But hey, let me throw this out there. I'm not a financial advisor, so please don't make decisions based on my words alone. Seriously, that would be a very, very, very bad move. Stay smart, friends.